Hey, what's up guys, it's me Shaheel here. So the Galaxy Unpacked event has obviously brought some amazing new tech to the Samsung Galaxy family of smartphones. Okay, so when we're talking about smartphones, they bought two lineup of smartphones, and the first one is the Galaxy Note20 lineup of smartphones, and then there's also another smartphone, and that is the Galaxy Z Fold 2. The naming scheme is a bit weird. I'll be talking more about that in a dedicated video which I'll be posting in the future, specifically 2 to 3 days after this video. But anyway, today we're going to be focusing about the Note 20 and the Note 20 Ultra lineup of smartphones. So when we're talking about the Note 20 series for smartphones, there are usually mainly two smartphones, and those are the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. So the main S20 naming scheme, we'll talk about the specs of the Note 20 first, and then we'll jump into the Note 20 Ultra. So it has a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display. So it's actually usually a bit huge or fairly sized when compared to a normal smartphone. But you'll realize what happens when we're talking about the Note 20 Ultra, which is coming up just in a moment. It has HDR10+ support, no high refresh rate. I mean, never expect a $1,000 phone to have high refresh rate, right? Anyway, this phone also has 5G enabled, and it has the Exynos 990 processor for the global variant, or the Snapdragon 865 Plus for the USA variant. It has 8GB of RAM, 128 or 256GB of storage. It is microSD card slot expandable, so if you have a microSD card, you can put it in the Note 20 lineup of smalls. There is this biometric technology of under-screen ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. It's not optical, it's ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. It's going to be a bit faster, and the battery capacity is 4300 mAh. There is 25 watts fast charging and 9 watt reverse wireless charging. So usually you can keep your Galaxy Watch or Galaxy Buds or things like that in the back of your smartphone, and then you can charge. Or even a full-fledged another smartphone, you can keep it in the back of this smartphone to charge it in 9 watts of speed. Let's talk about cameras, because cameras are very important these days in smartphones, and manufacturers are specifically focusing on the cameras even more and more these days. So this has a 3-camera setup, or a triple camera setup as you might call it. So the 3 cameras are a 12MP wide camera, normal camera, and a 64MP telephoto camera with 3 times optical zoom, and then there's a 12-megapixel ultra wide camera with 120-degree field of view. So those are the 3 cameras which are present in the smartphone, and then there is the video recording capability of 8K up to 24 FPS, and then there is this 4K 60p option, and then 1080p up to 240 FPS. Absolutely massive specs when it comes to cameras and everything, but we'll see how it performs in the real world. I mean, specs are just part of the story. Anyway, we have a single selfie camera in the smartphone, and that is a 10-megapixel wide selfie camera, and then there's 4K 60p video recording capability to the smartphone. So until this point, I was talking about the Note 20, the smaller brother in the 2 smartphones. Now we're going to talk about the Note 20 Ultra, which is a bit huge in every means. We'll see that. So it has a 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED display. It has 120Hz refresh rate. So the smaller brother does not get any high refresh rate. This has a high refresh rate. But this also gets HDR10+ support. It has Exynos 990 or Snapdragon 865 for USA. And you get 2 storage variants, which is 128GB or 512GB. Again, microSD card expandable. That is amazing. I mean, we're seeing less and less SD card expandable storage phones, but they still keep it. Thumbs up. Anyway, you have under-screen ultrasonic fingerprint reader, and then you have a 4500 mAh battery, a bit smaller when compared to the smaller brother, and then the same charging technology, 25 watt fast charging and then 9 watt reverse wireless charging. Pretty darn good specs. But the price is a bit weird. We'll see that by the end of this video, and then some of my thoughts about this phone. Anyway, moving to the cameras. The cameras is where the major difference comes in. Triple camera setup, just like the Note 20, but the difference is in the cameras, okay? So there's a 108 megapixel camera instead of the 12MP main camera, and then there's a 12MP telephoto camera. Okay, so this is not a normal telephoto camera. This has a periscopic sensor. And then you have a 12-megapixel ultra-wide sensor. Same video recording capabilities, 8K 24fps, 4K up to 60p, and then FHD up to 240p. Same kind of things. Yeah, that's what you get in this phone. That's basically it. And then the same selfie camera setup, 10 megapixel wide selfie camera with 4K up to 60p. That's usually it. So now let's look at the major changes which the Note 20 brings in, which the Note 10 did not have, or the differences between both of the phones. So the major differences are 5. So there's this newer processor, and that is the Snapdragon 865 when compared to the 855, or Exynos 990 compared to the Exynos 9825. And we have 5G enabled right now. So we have 5G modem support in this new lineup of smartphones. This is good. This is amazing. I appreciate that. Anyway, we have a slightly bigger display, 6.9-inch display, and also a bit huge, but the size does not actually matter because there is less bezel, and it is a bit big, I agree. So there's less and less bezel. I guess it is still pocketable size, but then there's the higher refresh rate, which is another major change, 120 Hz, amazing. And then there are better cameras. I mean, camera has to improve from generation to generation. Definitely there is an improvement in the camera this year. And then the new design. So when talking about the new design, the S Pen, actually we're talking about the S Pen, it has actually moved to the left side instead of being in the right side. And actually the latency is now less and less. There used to be a 24 millisecond response time, meaning when you draw something on the screen, it actually takes 24 milliseconds for the drawing to reach where your pen is. Now it is 9 milliseconds, just like Apple Pencil, same speed, amazing tech. And then obviously there are some major design changes like the new camera bump, and then the new form factor, new huge display, everything. So now let's look at the pricing of the smartphone. I mean, the pricing of the smartphone, I think the pricing is where the smartphone has a bit of caveat. So the Note 20 starts at $999 for 8GB RAM and 128GB storage. So the Note 20 Ultra costs $1299 for 12GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. There is a higher variant in the Note 20 Ultra. For the 512GB storage, you'll have to pay $1449 for 512GB storage and 12GB of RAM. Anyway, if you want to hear some thoughts of mine, stick around, or thanks for watching. So my thoughts are about the price. I mean, the specs is massive. I appreciate Samsung for doing this. Specs are amazing, everything, I love it. But the problem is the price. Actually, the price, I think it's a bit overpriced. I mean, take the OnePlus 8 Pro for example. It has much better specs, but for a low price or the same price. So while the Note 20 only offering 8GB of RAM and 60Hz refresh rate, and the OnePlus 8 Pro is offering much higher specs, there's no competition. I mean, it makes all sense to go for the OnePlus 8 Pro. It's your call. I mean, if you want to get the S Pen experience, and if you really want to get deep into the Samsung ecosystem, you'll have to purchase a Note. Other than that, I guess that both of these phones, or every variant, should be about $200 lesser in price. I guess that should be fair because, if they bought the phone for less price, it'd be more accessible, more user-friendly, more budget-friendly, more everything-friendly. And those are some of my thoughts. Thanks Tom for watching. And if you want to watch the Z Fold 2 video, stick around in my channel. I'll be posting that video right around the corner after 2 days. I mean, yeah. And until we meet the next time, goodbye.